Hello and welcome to video 2 of our sailing on Second Life. Now then, we're going to use some catamarans this time. These are the gennakeras, they're lovely. Let me just take you through them quickly. That's the lovely Bexy and Olgy, by the way, sat on their boat there. Let me just jump on this because if I don't it will disappear and we wouldn't want that to happen. Now then, we've got sails. These we can control with the up and down arrows. Up arrow will let us push the sail out and the down arrow will pull the sail back in. Now that's great, these sails will get us about, but they're not very quick when we're downwind. That means when the wind's behind us, or 45 degrees either side, we slow down because we don't get as much push from the wind. We have another sail for that called the gennaker. It's like a big baggy sail. That thing comes out at the front. As long as the wind's behind you, you can trim it and it'll all be good, as you will see me probably demonstrate. Obviously, once the wind is no longer in that arc behind you and comes up along the sort of left or right, port or starboard, or straight ahead of you, you need to get rid of the gennaker, otherwise it just won't work properly because the wind won't catch in it and it slows you down rather than acts like a windbreak rather than a speed thing. I'm not a sailing expert, by the way. I'm making these videos about sailing because I like sailing, but I'm by no means, Mr. got all the theory when it comes to sailing. But there are plenty of people in Second Life who do, and if you join a yacht club, well, they'll teach you all that stuff. So, let's start. We're going to use the B-wind engine. A lot of boats in Second Life have the B-wind engine. It basically lets you set the wind. So rather than having environmental wind that you can't control, you can control it. So we're going to use a northeast wind. So you type NE for northeast, press enter, and as you can see there in the little chat it says wind blowing from the northeast. By default, it defaults to 15 knots, and that's quite fine for what we're doing. So we're not going to mess with that. Now the next thing we need to do is raise the sails. So we type raise, and up comes the sails. That's it now, the physics are working. You can see the yellow writing, that's my HUD information, tells me the speed, my heading, what speed the wind is, 15 knots in this case. It's northeast, B-wind, because you can switch them. They have racing in Second Life where, let me just steer this because I can see I'm starting to drift off. They have sailing, so you can use what are called wind setters, which are like scripted objects in the water that actually control your speed and changes it. So if you're in a race, you've all got the same, there's no unfair advantage. Everyone's got exactly the same wind, and it updates everybody's boats as you go. It tells you your heel, which is how much the boat tips, whether you can plane, which is aquaplaning, or not. The gennaker, which is off at the moment. If it's on, if you need to pull it in, tweak in, or push it out, tweak out. Now, as you can see, off we are. We're sailing along. I've not really adjusted it yet. In the yellow means it's not optimum. It's obviously catching wind and we're moving, but it's not optimum, so we're getting about 6 knots. If I was to pull it tight till it goes green, it wouldn't luff, which is what they call that thing where it's wobbling there. See how it's wobbling? That's luffing, and it makes a flopping noise. Now, if we just pull it tight for you, with the down arrow, pull it in, there you go. See, it goes green, no more luffing, and now we start gaining speed quite considerably. There's a general rule of thumb with this particular boat, and presumably with all sailing, and that is the AWA, which I never remember what it stands for, in any of the videos that I've done so far that you haven't seen, because they all went wrong. But the AWA is the wind angle, and you go 50%. So you try to find a place which is half of that value. I'm not doing a great job of this, really. But, yeah. So if it was 100, it would be 50, obviously. Here you go. I'm getting a bit of luffing, which I'm not actually. I don't know why I'm luffing so much, but I do. Okay, let me explain something as well. You'll notice here that I'm getting luffing in the sails, even though they're green. Because of the way these boats work, because Bexy's behind me and she's quite close, the actual other boats affect the wind. So they actually block the wind. You can ride in other people's wind. It has got a name. To make you go faster when you're racing, but the downside of that is if you get into somebody else's wind, you don't get as much yourself, and so they'll start to luff a bit like that because you don't get the full. Now, notice now I've moved away from her that it's starting to pick up, and it's now actually starting to tilt me. So if you ever do go out with friends, don't get too close to each other because you'll end up in a situation where you're blocking each other's wind. Or, of course, if you get into racing, then that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to get downwind of the person in front and try and ride their wind. I don't know how to do that. I don't do racing, so... Anyway, in a minute, hopefully they're going to get ahead of me and we'll follow them like we were before. And then I'll start adjusting my sails to show you the speeds that we can get out of this. As you can see, it pretty much sails itself. When you set the trim on these sails, like now it's 120 with a 63, so it's almost bang on 60, but 66 and 6 is 12, 120 obviously. So there is math. If you can do the math, that's great. You'll pretty much have to sail in the right place all the time. But you can adjust it to your needs and feel whatever you want. So this is 11 knots at the moment with just the normal sails that come with it. Now, we can boom it a little bit. I'm still waiting for the girls to go past before I do so. I presume they'll put their gen up, if they haven't already, and then we'll get some boomage. But the gen will give us that little extra pip. So we're doing about 11 knots now. When we stick the gen out, I'd fully expect us to get some serious speed. However, I think we're going to head off to the northwest shortly, or southwest even. So I don't know if this is quite the right place for me to gen it. Because it will be directly behind us and we won't go very quickly. We'll do it anyway though, so we'll type GENN for gennaker. See, the gen comes up and it now says 0 tweak in, which means pull it in. To do that we use the page up and page down buttons. So page down to pull it in, there you go, look, OK, out. There you go. So that is now tight. We've got extra wind in the sails, now you can see the speed's increasing slightly, 10.5, 10.6 knots. You get a few knots gain from it. Obviously now the wind is directly behind us, which is kind of the worst place. You don't get much speed when you're directly downwind. Now you'll see the gennaker now is getting upset. See how it's gone blue and it started flapping about. This kind of suggests that it's not happy with the actual angle that we're at with the wind. There you go. Pull the sail out a bit. Tweak it in a bit. Once tweaked, there you go. It can get quite sensitive when the wind's directly behind you. So you've got to make sure that the big main sail at the back doesn't block the sail in the front, and you get the right angle so the wind kind of goes round one and then hits the other. So any wind that we don't take friction from hits the other sail, and then we get the extra pull off it from there. So we're doing about 7 knots. It's probably not the greatest. The girls are in front and I'll follow them. Yeah, you've got to be real careful with the gen. That's the thing. It works really well. But you've got to keep trimming it. Now, I'm normally pretty good with this, but when I'm chatting to the mic, I seem to lose concentration quite easily. And so then my tweakage is all wrong, and let's tweak her in. There we go. Again, with the wind right behind me, we're not going to be booming along any faster. We can go faster if we tweaked it right. But just for simplicity of the video, I'm just going to try and keep it as simple as I can. It's not bad where we are now. We're getting quite a speed off it. So we're heading south. This lighthouse here on the left is quite a well-known landmark for letting you know that you're getting onto the home stretch for decks. Decks being the yacht club I've referred to before. It's a popular place for beginners because they give a bunch of free boats and things away. And where it is, it's quite a nice place. It's out of the way of other people. So if you're a bit nervous about your first sailing experience, you haven't got to worry too much about the more busier places in Second Life. There are many places in Second Life you can res, as we call it, a boat, which is where you make it appear in the world and get on it. But this is a place where you'll find lots of people who are into sailing and will help you if you're not sure what to do, and they give you a few starter boats just to get you going. The emphasis here is more on sailing, so it's the boats they give for free are sailboats with sails on them, which are a little bit more challenging to ride at first. But a lot of the sailboats you get now do come with a much more easier setting to get people involved. So you don't have to be some kind of crazy sailor with loads of sailing experience to be able to enjoy this. You'll get with time. Like this probably looks easy, and I guess I've sailed this around a lot. But I do remember when I first got this, I had no idea how to control it, and it was an absolute nightmare at first. It was literally you will capsize it several times in the beginning when you learn how to sail it. I don't tend to capsize anymore, but oh my goodness, I capsized a lot when I first got it. To get real boomy speeds out of it, you'll notice now we're tilting to where we can get a good speed. You'll notice that I get a heel of 21. Around about 20 to 29 maybe even, you can get away with some nice speed and maybe a bit of aquaplane. If you go over that heel, you start getting into the danger zone of it tipping over. But at this kind of heel, you do get like 17 knots at 15 knots, which is quite good. You're gaining a few actually from that. And it's a nice little speed to sail around. There's somebody on a sailboat over there. You get to see lots of people as you're going along. You make new friends. Lots of nice landmarks, like here on the right. They have these weird things. See this thing just going past now? They look like they're wind-powered water pumps or oil pumps or something. Not quite sure what they're supposed to be. Now, we're getting near decks. There's another few landmarks to mention. This thing on the left, this castle, That's one of the popular landmarks around this area. On the left here, if you look on the radar, you'll see that there's somebody going off down there. That actually connects to the Seychelles. It's another way to get into them. And when they're fixed and working properly, we'll probably go down there sometime and show you that. It's another nice little route to go. Very scenic, lots of nice houses and things. Now, this is more of a public area. You'll notice, if you look to the right of my sail, that there are marinas and things. We've got a marina that we use here on the right-hand side, for example. Now, I'm going to take my gen in because we're getting close to a public area now, so I don't want to be going too quickly. So we're going to start letting the sail out a bit to slow me down. If you need to slow down, you let the sail out, okay? So if you're going a bit fast and getting in a bit of a panic, just stay calm, up arrow, until your sail's right out, like that, nice and out. See, it's nice and loose, you're slowing down, no problem. You can always use the lower command on most of these boats to lower the sail completely, and that'll just make you sit in the water. Or if you want to just park up, moor, M-O-O-R, will actually moor you up on the spot. But in most cases, just let the sail out, that'll slow you down. Best way to get out of a panic situation. And then just adjust it as you need. You don't have to have it on green all the time. I need to point that out. The green tells you that you're getting optimal performance out of the sail, but it doesn't mean that it's not working when it's in the yellow. It's still working, just not to optimal. And obviously, when you're doing things like we are now in a public area, we don't want to come booming in here at optimal speed and start taking people's heads off and things. So, welcome to Decks. As you can see, it's got a yacht house, boat house even, whatever you call it, on the left there. The clubhouse, I think, is the term I'm looking for. Again, lots of yachts and things here. People have moorings here on the right. As you can see, people got their boats parked up. They live there. Some of the people actually live on these boats. In we come. The girls are parked up in front. Let's just try not to bump into them. Okay, there they are. So I'm going to lower now so that my sail goes down, look. So now there's no wind in the sail at all. It's just inertia that's pulling me along. And I'll probably end up mooring up about here. Like that, you see. So there we are. We've sailed in. We've parked up now. The boats will park there. A lot of places in Second Life will allow you to park for a certain amount of time. A lot of them don't, though. So you'll get used to the fact that when you get off your boat, it will disappear. They return it back to you. You res these things out. They copy. Basically, in Second Life, you have things where it will allow you to copy things. And that means you can copy it as many times as you want. So you've got one in your inventory. You can pull it out as many times as you like. Go sailing on it. Delete it. It gets returned. No problemo. So here we are at Decks, a popular yacht club. I'm going to take a stand. My boat may or may not stay here. I'm probably going to delete it because it's polite. So I'm going to right click on it and click on delete. And that'll make my boat disappear. Somebody's got the camera on me. Then I'm going to come up here. Now, the thing about Decks is it's very new person friendly. Oh, here's some bloke. He's not going to stop me, is he? Oh, he really is coming for me. Let's try and ignore him, though, because we're making a video. So he just can't see the camera. So we come along, and as you can see, there's a boat store here. They sell boats. Let's just have a quick wander in. Yeah, they sell boats here. So if you want to buy a boat, you can check out what they've got. It's a bit laggy. Let me just take my draw distance down for the purposes of this video so you might actually see something. As you can see, they sell Taco Easy Sell Hood. There's freebies here which cost nothing. There are things that cost. You know, again, it's a boat house. You can buy everything you need here. You'll find plenty of places that sell stuff like this, but here they have got, as I say, free and pay for things. So if you're into your sailing, you know, this is your shop where you got to buy all your bits. As you can see, they've got some lovely boats in for Halloween at the moment. They always have lots of boats in here for show. So, you know, if it's Christmas or whatever it might be, you're always going to see beautiful boats around. Now, I was saying for newbies that they help you out. Now, if we wander down here, you'll see here they've got some things to get you started. So they've got the Becky sloop, which is a very popular one, which has the B-Wind engine, which I think she made as well. And there's a picture of Becky. Let's just zoom on her. Let's give her some love. Look, there she is. And she made this. She built this boat, and it helps with people learning to sail here. Absolutely free. See how I get a little Linden dollar sign? Just buy it for free, 0 Linden dollar, get it on the water, and enjoy some sailing. That thing will work the same as my boat that I just showed you. You can set the wind direction, set the wind speed, and off you go. There it is. It's absolutely free. So you can get that boat and start for absolutely nothing and enjoy yourselves. There's another boat as well I think they give for free. Is it this one here or not? Oh, that's still the Bexy sloop. There was another one here. I don't see it here anymore, so perhaps it's not here now. But sometimes, like I say, come here, check it out. They have free boats. Here's one here, look, the Expand Your SL on this vendor here. Learn to sail in a realistic sail simulation. So there's everything from realistic sail simulation right through to, you know, just the motorboats or the whatever you want, basically. Absolutely whatever you want. I'm going to try and show you as many as I can here, as much as I can. Well, I think that draws us to a conclusion on this little video. This is Dex. Do check it out. Do have a come here and sail off. I'll tell you now, it's a bit busy here right now because it's Halloween, and there is an awful lot of Halloween stuff here. There's normally lots of room here for you to res a boat out. At the moment, it's not really got a lot of room, but it doesn't matter. The whole area is res. So, for example, if you walk down here, you can come to the end of the thing and just put your boat out there in that edge of water, and you'll be able to sail out. But as I say, it's Halloween, and everyone's... Oh, there's Buddhas. Everyone's, you know, just trying to pretty the place up for Halloween parties and things. So, there you go, Dex. Okay, I'm not sure what we're doing with the next video. We're probably going to go from here, res out some new boats. Maybe we'll go over the other side and res them out where it's less busy. And we'll show you how to sail on something else. Not quite sure what. You'll have to find out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.